call to order for tonight's Fayette County Board of Education meeting. Please join me in a moment of reflection. Thank you. Next up, we would like to welcome from Huddleston, the Huddleston Hounds, who are going to lead us in our Pledge of Allegiance. We have Shader Jamaid, Maggie Bowen, Matthew Gardner, Bo Newman, and Patrick Ward. Come on up.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job. Thank you.
Would you like for them to get pictures?
Get pictures?
You can get them outside, okay.
All right. Next up, we have approval of the agenda. Dr. Barrow, are there any changes to the agenda?
No changes on the agenda. We would recommend the board approve as submitted.
Need a motion and a second.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? 5-0. Okay. It appears there are no comments from the public. Nobody has signed up for tonight. So we'll move on to our recognitions, and I'll.
No,
No, what?
She went to get the sheet.
Oh, okay. All right. All right, at meetings of the Fayette County Board of Education, comments from the public directed to the board and/or staff will be addressed in writing when deemed necessary. Those who wish to speak during comments from the public on the agenda may sign up to do so below, and we do have some folks. Comments must be limited to 3 minutes. The goal is to allow as many people to speak as possible. Speakers are not allowed to relinquish their time to another speaker. Vulgar language or personal abuse against any person will not be allowed. Comments about individual employees or complaints about student problems are not appropriate for the comments from public section. The chairman or presiding officer has the discretion to terminate the presentation of a speaker who violates these guidelines. That said, we always welcome comments from the public. And first up, we have Doreen Barr.
Hello. My name is Doreen Barr, and I've always been very active in our school system. I have 4 sons, all who graduated from Starsmill High School with honors. I lost a son, Ryan, to opioids 4 years ago. That all began with a doctor's prescription. In Ryan's honor, I started a nonprofit organization called In Ryan's Name, Inc. Our mission is drug education, awareness, and prevention. August 31st, this Friday, is International Overdose Awareness Day. I'm here today to address the board about having Narcan, naloxone, in our school system. The National Association of School Nurses recommends that having naloxone to immediately restore breathing to a victim experiencing an opioid overdose. For anyone that doesn't know, Narcan or naloxone is an overdose reversing medication. It's better to be proactive and to be prepared and hope that we never have to use it than to be reactive after an overdose happens. Having naloxone readily available can be compared to having our AEDs or our defibrillators in our gym on the wall and teaching people to do CPR. It saves lives. Time is of the essence when trying to save an overdose victim. Oftentimes it's too late after first responders are called. The Georgia 911 medical amnesty law states that any person acting with reasonable care and in good faith is permitted to administer naloxone to a person believed to be experiencing an opioid overdose. All of these individuals are immune from civil or criminal liability or professional licensing sanction, so long as they act in accordance with the law. The cost of naloxone is a minimal $120. It can also be obtained free of charge from numerous awareness groups. My foundation, in Ryan's Name, Inc., is willing to provide naloxone to all of our schools in Fayette County. I brought with me, I have 4 doses that were given to me, my foundation, from different people that I've met. I also have more information that I would like to leave with you that you can look at in your spare time. I want you to know that every life matters and every student matters. This is my son, and tell me that it's not worth $120 to save someone's life. And especially when you can get it free of charge, my foundation is willing to supply it. I have the information. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gene Phelps.
Hi, thank you for letting me speak. I'm Jean Phelps. I'm a mother who had 4 kids in the school district for the past, 14 years. I still have 2 there. 2 graduated, 1 passed away from opioid overdose. And the 2 of us here tonight are not alone. There are quite a few who have. And I'm here also because I'd like to see our school nurses in the high schools at the very least carry naloxone. I have information from Georgia Overdose Prevention where the school can get it for free. There's no doctor's signature needed. It's a standing order. Very simple. And I'd like to leave that with you today, and I'd love to follow up with anyone who has questions. The naloxone, like Ms. Barr said, it's just like the defibrillators in the schools. It's just to help lungs start to work again, just like a heart. Emergency remedy, nothing more, nothing less. It's not harmful, and we'd love for it to be in the schools, to be proactive, not reactive, because you don't want to lose any more lives. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I leave this?
Ke- Kelly Douglas.
Good evening to you all. Thank you for letting me speak. My children and I have been in Fayette County since 2013 when we relocated from Nebraska. I would like for the board to reconsider one small part of their enrollment policy. And that is, if you relocate within the county, the school board requires you to come in person to bring your lease and/or homeownership documents, your electricity bill, and sign this affidavit, a 12-point affidavit. I would just like to submit in 2019 where we have the availability of email, fax, scan, and everything else we have to do with our children that requires us to take time off of work, but this should not be one of those things. And if you would please reconsider on behalf of every working parent, I would really consider it a personal, not favor, but just, it gets to be a lot when you work the same hours, when you have to take off work, when you can't get there over lunch, when 7:30 is not early enough to get to work on time, when you don't have a late day. So, and the 12-point affidavit, which lists in some points legal documentation, fines that could be had, we don't have to present ID, so I'm not sure why we have to be here in person. The affidavit needs to be notarized, but there's notaries everywhere. So I didn't bring anything to hand to you, but I would like that to be reconsidered. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes our public comments. And we'll now move on to our recognitions, and I'll turn it over to Melinda Berry Dreisbach.
Mr. Chairman, before I get started with my recognitions, I believe we have a proclamation that Mr. Swed is going to read for Ms. O'Hara and her family.
Thank you, Ms. Dreisbach. It's a pleasure to be here tonight, and it's an honor to recognize Kelly Maureen O'Hara, graduate of Stars Mill High School, 2006. Most of you know her. We have Dan and Karen O'Hara with us, and my oldest son, Adam, who's a member of class of 2006, good friend of Miss O'Hara's, and so he wanted to be here as we recognize her. So I'm fixing to read this proclamation, and I want to thank Dr. Bear and the board for doing this. Whereas the United States women national soccer team, by a score of 2-0, defeated Netherlands in the 2019 FIFA Women's World Cup held on July 7th in France, and whereas FIFA Women's World Cup champion and soccer player for the Utah Royals FC, Kelly Maureen O'Hara from Fayette County, Georgia, assisted the United States team in winning its second consecutive FIFA World Cup championship and has competed in 3 consecutive FIFA Women's World Cups. And whereas Miss O'Hara got her start in club soccer and continued her student athletic career in the Fayette County Public School System, where she graduated from Stars Mill High School, having played 4 years on the Panthers varsity soccer team, and whereas she helped lead the Panthers to the 5A state title in 2006 with 20 goals, 16 assists, and in 2006 was named the Atlanta Journal-Constitution Player of the Year, Gatorade Georgia Player of the Year, and All-American by the National Soccer Coaches Association of America. And whereas she went on to become a standout forward at Stanford University, where she was awarded the Herman Trophy after scoring 26 goals and notching 13 assists in her final season, which is one of the highest outputs in Division I history. And whereas in addition to her stellar athletic ability, Miss O'Hara also excelled academically both at Stars Mill High School and Stanford, majoring in science, technology, and society with a focus in environmental engineering. And whereas Miss O'Hara has achieved triumph through extraordinary determination against many odds, and her hard work and commitment to success exemplifies the American spirit. And whereas the Fayette County Board of Education and the citizens of this great county are proud of Miss O'Hara's accomplishments, and that she is a graduate of the Fayette County Public School System. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Fayette County Board of Education does hereby recognize Kelly Maureen O'Hara for her outstanding life achievement in National Women's Soccer and for assisting the United States women's team in 2 consecutive Women's World Cup soccer championships. In witness whereof by the members of the Fayette County Board of Education and Superintendent of Fayette County Public School System, done at the Fayette County Board of Education on the 26th day of August in the year 2019, signed by our board members as well as Dr. Barra, Mr. and Ms. O'Hara. Oh, and one thing else, I was her principal, so I'm very proud of that fact. I want you to know that. So, Mr. and Ms. O'Hara, if you'd come forward. Ms. Tony, if you'd come forward. And she'll be assistant. Please say something.
Well, Kelly wishes she could be here. She's with the team right now, getting ready to play on Thursday night in Philadelphia against Portugal, their next national team match. But she wishes she was here. She loves Atlanta. Got her start on these fields and remembers her time at Stars Mill very fondly. So thank you for this recognition. I appreciate that. My wife and I appreciate it. Again, thank you.
Okay, well, we're going to keep the soccer theme going tonight. We actually have a recognition left over from last year, and tonight we're going to recognize our state champions in boys and girls soccer. So let me just give you a little bit of background before I bring up our first set of team members here. May was a very exciting time here in Fayette County. We knew we had 4 schools in the state championship, 2 from Fayette County for the girls and 2 from Fayette County for the boys. So we were guaranteed to have state champions in both the boys and the girls soccer. So the question was, what schools would it be? And we had, on the girls' side, we had Whitewater and McIntosh, and on the boys' side, we had McIntosh and Stars Mill. So when all was said and done, it was McIntosh that took home the championship for both the boys and the girls soccer teams. So first up, we are going to recognize our girls soccer team. We have certificates for the entire team, but tonight we're just going to hand out some to representatives that have been selected by the coach. Usually we do the captains, but they're all seniors and have graduated. So the coach selected some representatives to come up here tonight. But before we hand out those certificates, let's give a round of applause to our girls soccer team, if they may stand, please, so that we can recognize you. Okay, and receiving certificates tonight at the podium are Juliana Picard, Skylar DeZenis, Morgan Yoakum, and Caitlin Gallabrath. And we have certificates for head coach Casey Kreitner, assistant coach Luke Kreitner, and trainer Zach Hayes-Coaster. Congratulations. And if I may mention too, new this year, we have a photo booth outside with the school system's new logo on it. So it's right outside in the lobby to your right. So after you get your certificates, if you want to go out there and get pictures, feel free to do so. Next up, if we can have the boys team come forward, please, with their coaches. Let's see. I think I have all of their certificates, but we're not going to hand all of them out. We'll just give them. Let's see, here we go. Okay, and here are our boys' teams, and again, their captains were all seniors and have graduated, so the coach selected representatives to come up here tonight to receive their certificates, and let me tell you, this marks the 7th state championship for the McIntosh boys team, and we have the team in the audience, if they may stand, and let's give them a round of applause. Okay, receiving certificates tonight, we have Jonathan Bennett, Jackson Johnson, and Luke Giordano. And coaches, we have head coach Bunky Colvin, and assistant coaches Brian Messer, Greg Bennett, John Brigovich, Drake Dell, Mike Grabhorn, Laura Edenfield, and again, trainer Zach Hayes-Coaster. Congratulations.
Nice job, guys.
Okay, if we may have our Skills USA students come forward. Okay, everybody thinks that the summer is a very quiet time in the school system and for our students and our employees, and it's not. Our students and employees, they're taking part in competitions during the summer at the national and international level. And for our Skills USA team at Sandy Creek High School, it has become a long-standing tradition for them to attend the National Skills USA Leadership and Skills Conference, where they always come back with some hardware from that competition. We have students who earn their way to a national or international competition, we recognize them at any level in which they place, because getting to that level of competition is a real accomplishment. And so tonight we're going to recognize 3 students for placing 5th in promotional bulletin board design and presentation. And they are Liberty Harris, Gianna Fan, and Kayla Brooks. And I don't think he was able to make it tonight, but we have one student who participated in his first ever national competition. His name is Brandon Goins, and he placed 25th in t-shirt design and presentation. And their coach is Jeff Dykes. Congratulations.
Good job, guys.
Okay, next, if I may have Kaylin Bellwood come forward, please. Okay, we've all heard the saying that no one is perfect, but we have a student right here, standing up here, who has achieved perfection, at least on the ACT, that is. And she is Kaylin Bellwood from Fayette County High School, and she scored a perfect 36 on the ACT. And Kaylin, yes. But there's more. You've got to hear how phenomenal this is. She is among a fraction of a percentage of students who achieve a perfect score each year out of the more than 1.9 million students who took the ACT at the same time as she did. Only 3,741 of them made a perfect score on the ACT. That is phenomenal. And for those of you who do not know what the ACT is a curriculum-based achievement exam that measures what students have learned in school. And a student who scores a 36 you can likely be assured that he or she has the skills and knowledge needed to succeed in their first year of college and get through those core classes without any problem at all. And so we are very, very proud of you, Caitlin, and congratulations on this wonderful achievement. Yes, thank you. Okay, next up, if we may have our Invention Convention winners come forward. All right, for the 3rd consecutive year, J.C. Booth Middle has had a winner at the Invention Convention U.S. Nationals. And this year, the team of Isabella Hickey and Rebecca Bushmeyer won the Industry Innovation Award for their invention called the Soft Storage. And this is a sleeping bag with storage compartments. But what makes this sleeping bag so special is that it is designed for children of domestic abuse who are seeking shelter or who have fled to shelters for protection. And the sleeping bag not only provides a place for them to sleep, but because it has compartments on the inside, it provides them a place to store their toiletries and other small personal items. Isabella and Rebecca, they competed against 500 other student inventors from around the world, and they are among just 17 students from the competition who received an industry award. So congratulations to both of you. And also congratulations to their coach, Dr. Kathleen Landman. Okay, next up, if we may have our SLED Student of the Year. All right, so you want to take a good look at this student, and are you going to Fayette County High next year? Okay, and so any of you who are from Fayette County High, take a good look at him, because when teachers at Bennett's Mill Middle need help with technology, Cole GUMERSON is the one they call on. He's their go-to guy. And not only is Cole a tech guru, but he also understands the importance of community service. And he ensures that he and his fellow students at Bennett's Mill make a positive impact right here in Fayette County. He is described as an outstanding young man who is a positive change agent and has a desire to serve people. And because of these attributes, Cole has been selected by Students Leading Education, or better known as SLED, as their 2018-2019 Student of the Year. And Students Leading Education is a national network of student leaders who are engaging their school districts in solving real problems. Last year at Bennett's Mill, Cole assisted with the deployment of Chromebooks. He led the charge in helping students and teachers embrace the new connected room technology, and he led sessions and workshops to teach students, parents, and teachers how technology can enhance learning. And above and beyond that, he has been involved in many fundraisers at the school and in helping students at the school in many different ways. He led a digital and hand-designed holiday card drive, and these cards were delivered to a senior living center here in Fayette County. And he also helped special needs students at the school with a fundraiser they were doing by teaching them how to create marketing materials. And so we want to congratulate him. We certainly understand why he was selected as the SLED Student of the Year, and congratulations to him and to his advisor, Susan Hall. Congratulations.
Ms. Barry Dreisbach, he also helped us during new teacher induction. He was out there every day. I saw him helping all of our new teachers get a good start. So thank you, Cole.
Congratulations. Okay, now if I may have our History Day winner come forward, please. After taking first place in the Georgia National History Day competition, JIMENA MOLINA from Sandy Creek High School won an invitation to compete at the National History Day competition this summer in Maryland. And she took sixth place in that competition for Senior Individual Website. And her project focused on scientist Rachel Carson, who helped ban DDT here in the United States. And National History Day is a competition where students work on it the entire year. They do a lot of research. They have to put together a project, and it has to be around a theme. And this past year's theme was triumph and tragedy in history. And all projects must include a written component that discusses the reasoning behind the project, the research process, and the significance of the topic to the theme. So there's a lot of work that goes into this, and we are very proud of JIMENA. Congratulations. And her advisor, Patience Douglas, is here tonight. Congratulations to you as well. Okay, that concludes our student recognitions. So now we're going to move into our staff recognitions. If I may have Carrie Palmer come forward, please. Miss Palmer is a fourth grade teacher at Crabapple Lane Elementary School, and she has been named the 2019 Georgia History Teacher of the Year by the Gilder Lehrman Institute of American History. The award highlights the crucial importance of history education by honoring exceptional American history teachers from elementary through high school. A panel of teachers, administrators, and scholars from Georgia selected Ms. Palmer for the award based on her achievements in American history education. She is now one of 53 finalists who will continue on to compete for the national award, and we should learn who that winner is early this fall. So congratulations to you. Okay, now if I may have Miss Lori Davis from Stars Mill High School come forward, please. Okay, we have two healthcare teachers, Julie McKenna, who cannot be with us tonight, and Miss Lori Davis, who is here with us tonight from Stars Mill High School, and they have received a $10,000 industry certification grant from the Georgia Department of Education. And these funds will be used to achieve health science education industry certification for the school's healthcare science program. And when the program receives certification, notice I said when, not if, but when, it will be the first program in Fayette County to be certified. So we are very excited about that. And they have to go through a very rigorous process. They have until the end of this fiscal year to get certified. There will be an on-site review panel of local industry healthcare professionals who will conduct a comprehensive review of the program's operational and course standards. And they will also conduct interviews with students, counselors, and administrators. So congratulations to you guys, and good luck. All right, and our last recognition for this evening is again for Stars Mill. If I may have Principal Alan Leonard come forward, please, and his athletic director, Shane Ratliff. Okay, Stars Mill High School, their athletic department, has won 2 major awards. The first one we're going to talk about tonight is from the Georgia Athletic Directors Association. They won the Regions Bank Directors Cup. This is the 4th time in 5 years that they have received this award. And the award recognizes athletic departments in all Georgia High School Association classifications that have excelled and shown superior performance. But that is not all. In addition to having won the state award, Stars Mill is also ranked as having one of the top athletic departments in the nation. Max Preps, which is America's online source for high school sports, has ranked the school as having the 89th best overall academic or athletic program in the nation. And the rankings are determined based on points accumulated for finishing first or second in state finals or finishing in the top 25 national rankings for a particular sport. So congratulations, Mr. Ratliff and Mr. Leonard. Yeah, yes. Congratulations. Okay, and that concludes our recognitions.
Thank you. It's always great to see the amazing thing our students and staff are doing, and always great to celebrate that. It's now time for the superintendent's report, and I'll turn it over to Dr. Barrow.
Yes, sir. I certainly want to commend all of our young people and our adults that were recognized. I know our school district as a whole has just recently been named by the niche ranking system number 6 in the state, 4th in the metro Atlanta area. The School Digger ranked us in the top 10%, number 2 in the metro Atlanta area with a 5-star rating. So you can see part of the reason why our district is highly respected across the state and throughout the nation because of the student performance and the great teaching staff that we have here. So we're very, very proud of them and celebrate with them. We'll move on down to, my report is relatively short this evening, but I wanted to talk about our educational center here, about the potential of a ribbon cutting. Of course, we've been in the facility now for several months. We've completed just about all of our punch list. We have a little bit of decorating that we still want to do with some of our conference rooms and settings, but I wanted to go ahead and talk with the board about that and work and see if we could go ahead and get our ribbon cutting ceremony together. Clearly, anytime that the board can come is good with us. I have a suggestion I'll put on the table for your discussion here, is possibly having the ribbon cutting ceremony prior to one of our regular board meetings, maybe about 5:30 or 6. Folks could come, tour, and get a chance to see the facility, and then we could go right into our business meeting. That would possibly be September 23rd or October 21st. I just put that out for your consideration. I know you'll need to check your calendars, but if either of those 2 dates work for you, we'd love to maybe go ahead and do that and let the community come in and actually see not just the boardroom here, but across the entire renovation effort. Is that okay? You guys want to let me know which date works best for you?
Hey, speaking of your punch list, do you know if we're live and in color tonight?
Mr. Farmer, I know I shared with the board, we've been working on trying to get our live streaming initiatives done. We've been podcasting here in the district for a long time. I know that when we moved into the new facility, one of the things that we hope to be able to do is to do the live streaming. I don't mind sharing with the community. The first camera we had, it was dead on arrival for whatever reason. It just didn't work. It took a little while. That was switched out to a second camera, and it had a green screen. It was like the old Commodore 64, Pong games where it's just green, and all of us look very green, so that wasn't quite working, and I know that's been sent. I don't know, the new camera, has it made it in yet? Has it been installed?
It has not, so there's a plate on that panel right there that you can see that's blank, but we are streaming tonight. We're streaming the presentations and audio, just not the camera. So as Dr. Barrow said, we've been recording and then posting them on our site, and so now we've been testing the live streaming piece and are comfortable with it. It works really well. We're working out some of the new equipment and challenges of learning the new software, but that's been working great. And as soon as the camera comes in, we'll be able to switch between the camera and the presentations.
So technology is wonderful when it works. We hope to have that up and running full bore in the coming months.
Absolutely.
Okay. Looking at our attendance and enrollment, normally we do that at our work session, but I know at the beginning of the school year we try to share that information with you, and we actually had an additional 5 students enrolled today, so our official enrollment is 20,485. That's up over 260 students from this time last year, so that's a good bump up. We're excited about the good steady growth with our enrollment. We'll continue to watch this up through Labor Day. We typically have a few more students come in after Labor Day, but we feel confident that we're in a good position to take care of all those and still maintain the class size issues and the settings that the board has set for us. Last but not least, on the superintendent's report, I know the board agreed or approved, wanted to participate in the Georgia School Boards Association governance team application, and our folks pulled a lot of information together, and I want to commend our team, our district office team, for helping to do this, but also want to commend one of our board members, Mr. Raybold. He volunteered to help us with pulling some of that information together with the perspective through the lenses of a board member, and we got that information today. It's just about done. There are a few formatting things that we want to do, but later in the agenda we'd like to go ahead and have the board approve the application so that we can submit by the due date of the 30th. But I'm excited. This is the first time the board has done this, and It's pretty impressive, the body of work that's been accomplished over the last year. And clearly, we can't do that work without the support of our Board of Education. We're very fortunate to have a strong board and one that's very supportive of our program. So, any questions, Mr. Rabel?
Well-
And would you?
Well, I just want to echo what Jody said. I really appreciate Mr. Rabel taking this project on and the assistance of the staff in it, because it was a pretty heavy lift, as you can tell from the application. And it's the reason why we pursue these awards is because it gives a chance to show off all the great things that are going on in the district, and that's what we want to do.
Absolutely. So,
Yeah, and I appreciate and I would like to thank all the people that provided data for this. When you read the report, if you don't see your data included, please remember that I was limited to 500 words and 1 page for each category. And sometimes I wound up with 7 pages for one category because of all the good things that our system does. And it was very difficult to go through and delete items that I knew were very, very important. However, hopefully I kept the best ones in.
good deal. Mr. Hollowell, that concludes the superintendent's report for this evening.
Okay. We'll move on to personnel.
Okay, we do have a personnel list. I know the board's had a chance to review the recommended retirements, resignations. We have some reclassifications, elections, and we also have a few community coaches there. We would support our folks who've made these recommendations and request that the board approve.
Need a motion and a second to approve the personnel report.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? 5-0.
Next on our agenda, we have the financial report. I see Mr. Gray coming. He must have read our minds.
I read the agenda.
That too.
Okay. July, first month of the fiscal year, so there's not a lot to really project on at this point, but first report is the cash on hand, $53.6 million in cash on hand. On the second page, you'll see the breakdown of the operating account, which is $27.8 million, and about $14 million in the general fund and $10 million in local capital projects. If you go on to the next page, that is 1 month of expenditures and revenues. So revenues brought in $10.6 million the first month, and expenditures just over $17 million for the month. Okay. We're projecting fund balance at this point, and not really a lot to talk about with just 1 month of data, but projecting fund balance at the end of the last fiscal year to be a little bit over $23 million. We'll spend down a little bit, but excuse me, the remaining projected fund balance at this point would be a little over $500,000, but we'll have to see how the revenues come in based on the projections. Okay. And then we have our SPLOST counts, and in SPLOST 1, we're still working on flexible learning spaces in the Fayette County High School auditorium, paying that out, so that's mostly what's left in SPLOST 1 projects. In SPLOST 2, we have about $4.7 million left to allocate to projects there on the lower right-hand side. Projects in that category is connected classrooms, the Sandy Creek AV and film project. There's some school nutrition equipment, Oak Grove, the paying out what's left at the South Complex, security upgrades, radio upgrades, and textbook adoptions and replacements that are still going on. And then on the final one is SPLOST 3, and of course the main projects there is McIntosh High School addition, the Fayette County High School renovation, textbooks, and the track resurfacing, which we just started up, so those projects are mostly getting paid out towards the end. You'll see that the collections at the top, $2.2 million, so very strong collections at this point. On the upper right-hand side of that page, you'll see the bond proceeds being paid down, and I do know that that was in July, and today we made the request for the final drawdown on the bond proceeds, so we've utilized all the bond proceeds at this point. So That's the report. If you have any comments or questions.
Thank you, Tom.
Okay, thank you.
Consent agenda?
The consent agenda is there for the board's review. I think we've reviewed all these items. Something, I know Tom mentioned some safety requests from our East Blast. Mr. Sanders shared that with you at our work session. I know the athletic trainer contracts, this is something relatively new, but certainly something we think is incredibly important. I know I was at the McIntosh game Friday night. We had a young man injured there, and thankfully he's fine or going to be okay. But it just emphasized the importance, I think, of having those athletic trainers at our athletic competitions. So most all of the information there has already been reviewed. We would recommend the board approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Need a motion to, and a second to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? 5-0. Next, we got action items.
And moving down to the action items, I know this is looking at the Oak Grove Elementary. I know several of you had a chance to go out and take a look at the Phase 1 project that has been completed. But the real bulk of the project, or Phase 2, is now ready for your review. We put the information out to bid. We have a guaranteed maximum price. Basically, in Phase 2, we will have the front of the school moved from the back of the school, so to speak, and we'll have some administration areas, a new full-size gym, which is desperately needed, and a full building renovation. That's something I don't think we've really talked a lot about, but it's the type of renovations that we've been doing for our other buildings that are more than 20 years of age. We anticipate roughly just under $1.7 million of state capital funds, so that's a good thing. We'll get those when the project is completed. But Phase 2, we're requesting, or the board approved, $10,750,000 to complete the Phase 2 project, and certainly we'll open the floor for any questions if the board has any.
Need a motion to approve and a second?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions or discussion? I know we talked about this quite a bit at the work session, but. All right, all in favor? 5-0.
Moving on to our action item 11B, we have our strategic improvement plan. This is really a 5-year plan. It has been generated after our advanced ed reaccreditation. We've been looking at that report and digesting that. I feel very, very good about our strategic improvement plan. We had one after we first came, and I thought it was solid, but there were some things that we could do to improve that. We feel like we've really focused in on some key work. We have some better performance measures built in. Certainly want to commend all of our folks that helped put this together, and it'll be something that we continue to review over the next 5 years. We would recommend that the board approve the strategic improvement plan as submitted.
So moved.
Need a motion and a second?
Sorry.
Yeah, there's the motion.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? Well, there's certainly a step in the right direction,
It
so.
is. It's a
I'll
breathing
call for it.
document. It's a living document. It doesn't mean that if we see some areas that we need to look and change, and certainly we can do that as we're moving through.
Right. All in favor? 5-0.
As part of the strategic improvement plan, we have our model of achievement and accountability. This really outlines how we measure and monitor our strategic improvement plan moving through. I know it lists opportunities for presentations to the board. This is not meant to be all-inclusive, but it certainly gives us some clarity and some, again, intentional review, and helps us to maintain the accountability that I know the board expects out of us. We would recommend the board approve this year's model of achievement accountability.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Any comments or questions? All in favor? 5-0.
Okay, item 11D. This is something I'm really excited about. We've talked about this a little bit, but we've been working with Georgia Tech, the GTRI, the research institution, and they have a lightning mapping array unit that they've discussed with us. We're actually looking at placing that out at North Fayette Elementary School in order to help with the National Weather Service and understanding more about weather science. We think this is a great opportunity, certainly in our partnership with Georgia Tech. We would recommend the board approve the mapping array installment at North Fayette.
Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Comments, discussion?
Looks cool.
Yeah.
Looks cool.
And to be clear, it doesn't attract lightning.
No, yes, sir. We've got all the insurance issues checked off. I think we're all good.
All right, all in favor? 5-0.
And last on the action item is the school board governance application. And clearly, we think we've got a good, solid application. We would recommend the board approve.
I need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? 5-0.
Thank you, Roy, again.
Yes. Thank you.
I know our work session agenda is coming up. I know I've had some conversation with Chairman Hollowell, and if there are any suggested agenda items that you'd like to talk about, certainly we are open to put those on the work session agenda. And we look forward to sharing some more information with you as well. Mr. Hollowell, we have a couple of items that we need to discuss in executive session. One deals with what we typically refer to as personnel. We also have an issue of property we need to make you aware of. And last but certainly not least, we have an item that deals with students' personal educational records, and we need to discuss that with the board as well.
All right, need a motion to move in executive session?
So moved.
Second.
Second. All right, we're adjourned to an executive session. Oh, all in favor, sorry, 5-0. Need a motion to return from executive session?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? 5-0, or 4, yeah. Dr. Barrow, any recommendations from executive session?
No, sir, no recommendations at this time.
All right, well, without objection, we are adjourned.